Hammond, and I'm coming to you today from the Kohler and Dram Institute of Floristry in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where we offer professional skills for creative minds. Today I want to share with you a few tips for making a florist's bow. Today we're going to focus on using a number 3 ribbon in satin acetate, but truth be known, there are so many different types of ribbon out there and different sizes. We cover all of those in our foundations class, Floristry 1. Today I'm going to give you some tips and tricks with this beginner size. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my satin acetate ribbon. I'm going to pull a bunch off of the bolt, and then I want to see that there is a dull side and a shiny side to the ribbon. And we always want the shiny side facing up. So I'm going to start with the tail facing towards me, looking at the shiny side. I'm going to put a little crimp in my first little part here. I'm going to make a loop that comes out away from my body. Then I'm going to get it back in with these 3 fingers. That's part of the key, is you don't want to hold the whole bow with your whole hand. You're just using 3 fingers. And here's the other major tip for getting a successful bow, is making sure you get a good twist in there while it's between your fingers. So I'm going away from myself or up if you prefer. And then I'm going to make another loop, always keeping the shiny side out, going the opposite direction. I'm going to slip that ribbon between those 2 fingers, and that's when I'm going to give it a nice sharp twist so that I have the shiny side facing back towards me again. I hold that back down with that finger, and I'm going to then do a loop going up again that's a little bit bigger than my first. Twist as I did before, come down again, twist it, and then I'm going to do another loop on each side that are that same size. Again, getting that nice twist in the middle. My 4th loop on each side is going to be just a touch larger than the last 2. So I'm getting that twist in there and really paying attention to doing it in the same place every time so that they're stacked on top of each other. I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to take a 22 gauge florist wire, which is 18 inches long when it's full length. I'm going to put it under my thumb, come down like this, and then I'm going to give it a nice tight twist, which is another one of your key components to getting a good bow, because if that's nice and tight, I can come in and fluff my loops how I want them. I have my shiny side facing up. This is just another view for you to get the mechanics of bow making. So I'm going to give that crimp in the center for my first starting point. Now I'm going to make that first loop. Notice where the ribbon ends up. It ends up between these 2 fingers. That's when I'm going to give it a nice sharp twist before I come the opposite direction. So every time I make a new loop, I'm meeting up in that central area and stacking those loops underneath one another. I know some designers build their bows from the bottom up, but I have found it's easier to teach someone to build it top down. You may, over time, find that another way works better for you. Go for it. Just remember, you always want those twists in there, so you have the shiny side facing out, and then your other huge key is that when you go and you put that wire under your thumb, bend it down nice and tight, get a nice tight twist on there so that you are able to then come in and fluff your bow. Now, your bows aren't always going to be the same size. They're not always going to have the same number of loops on each side. They're going to be proportionate to the project they're going with, and different bows go with different projects. So that is one of the main ones that we do, and I hope those were some good tips for you.